Hello and welcome to the world-renowned Grand Prix circuit of Silverstone for round 6 of the PowerMaxed Mini Challenge. It's a bumper grid here at Silverstone with a total of 31 cars, and that includes 2 new drivers for Team Lowen, Mike Fryatt and Stuart Kent.
Pirelli tyres offered competition to the dealership who could sell the most tyres would win the chance to race for the weekend. So our dealership sold more Pirelli tyres, and hence why I'm here.
I have to ask you, your first time out yesterday, what did you enjoy most?
Being in the race, really. Just got behind the wheel, wasn't nervous at all, and I'm certainly going to come back and visit when they go to other places. Just the whole day and the whole weekend's brilliant.
Mike, why such a late entry as a driver to the Mini Challenge?
Well, I mean, Mini Challenge has been a series that I've been trying to get into for about 4 or 5 years now. I've been doing on and off testing. I think it was more the relationship with Lowen that brought me here. So, because I've been doing quite a bit of filming with them and doing a lot of promotional stuff with them, and then the opportunity came to have a 4th car out at Silverstone. So it's well overdue to get out and finally do a race here.
And what about race 1 here at Silverstone yesterday? Because you have already been out. How did it go for you? Yeah,
we're getting better. There was quite a few accidents in front, so it was good to stay out of those. And then it was just running my own race and making sure I didn't do anything stupid. So it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was about the pace that we thought we'd have, and can't really complain.
As you just heard, we're already 1 race down this weekend, and somebody who did incredibly well yesterday, getting a first for Coopers, is William Phillips. How was it for you?
I'd have to say it's probably one of the toughest but best race I've had all season. Me and Ricky Page going at it, lap after lap, switching places. The tow around Silverstone is insane.
And what about today? We've got 2 races coming up. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling for 2 wins, I think. I'm going for the 2 wins, that's for sure.
So, William Phillips is in pole position for the Coopers after that victory yesterday. And doing it for the JCWs is Chris Knox. Yes, he's been at it again. Before we go racing, let's hear the full grid from Ben.
Thanks, Michelle. This may take a while because it's a gigantic entry once more for the PowerMaxed Mini Challenge, and why not the lure of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. This then the 2nd race of the weekend, and it's a rolling start for them this time around, so they're off behind the pace car around the full length of the Silverstone Grand Prix loop, with Chris Knox in pole from Henry Dupree, and then Chris Russell and Neil Newstead. Hamish Brandon, Alan Taylor on row 3. The man to watch for, though, is going to be Luke Caudle outside the top 10 in the JCWs. In the Cooper class, it's William Phillips on pole from Ricky Page, Shane Stoney and Josh Gollin. So ready for the off then, and away we go, and Chris Knox makes a super getaway from Henry Dupree. Chris Russell and Neil Newstead side by side for 3rd place as they tip through Copse Corner for the first time. Also looking to try and make progress is Alan Taylor. Luke Caudle already swarming at the tail with Patrick Mortar as the Cooper class cars cleanly through and already jostling for position into Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. And Chris Knox trying to make good his escape at the head of the field. He did this to devastating effect in the solitary race we had on Saturday. Looking as if he's on course to repeat the trick. The Cooper class very tight. It's William Phillips who leads the way from Ricky Page, Josh Gollin and Shane Stoney. So down the hanger straight then, and Chris Knox and Henry Dupree breaking clear of Neil Newstead, the black and green car in 3rd place. Then it's Chris Russell, black and blue machine, the Panda Racing car of Hamish Brandon, and then the mitre blue car of Lawrence Davey. Luke Caudle is next along. Caudle having a super start to the race as he looks to try and fight his way up into the podium places. Squirming on the brakes into the Vale, and Lawrence Davey and Hamish Brandon go side by side, and Lawrence Davey gets his nose in front of Hamish Brandon. That's 5th place then for Davey. Brandon, though, immediately on Lawrence Davey's slipstream as they accelerate out of club past the wing pit used for the British Grand Prix, and on towards the very, very fast right-hander Abbey. Luke Caudle now in pursuit of Hamish Brandon. They come out of farm and heavy braking into village. The real challenge, though, is from Caudle, the black and yellow machine, to the inside of Hamish Brandon, and he should go through. He does at village. He's going to have the inside line for the loop, as also Lawrence Davey tries to challenge the inside of Chris Russell. They all make it through safely as they then accelerate out of Aintree and down the Wellington Straight. You can see out front Chris Knox has had a devastating start to the race, almost Vettel-esque, as he has built up a nice big margin over Henry Dupree. Dupree in turn not too concerned about the progress of Chris Russell or Neil Newstead, because the pair of them locked in battle. They have got that man, Luke Cordell, coming up on their tail as Cordell demotes Lawrence Davey into Brooklands. Bouncing on the suspension through Luffield, and then accelerating on towards Woodcote. You can always expect lively action in the PowerMaxed Mini Challenge. The same goes in the Cooper class. William Phillips leads it from the red car white roof. That's Ricky Page, and the red car checkered roof is Josh Gollin. They've got the silver and black car of Gideon Cresswell as well, right in the mix. Ricky Page looking for his first ever Cooper class victory. He's going to have a job on here to try and close back in onto William Phillips. Meanwhile, Cordell and Davey have demoted Chris Russell, so they're up into 4th and 5th respectively. Cordell determined to get himself onto the rostrum. In the Cooper class, it's 3 wide, almost into Copse Corner. Page in 2nd, Gollin just in 3rd. Gideon Cresswell very much in the mix. Shane Stoney, somewhat muted performance for him. You just catch a glimpse of number 1 car. He's down into 6th at the moment. In the Cooper class, just behind Mark Wakefield. Gollin and Cresswell attempt to go side by side through Beckett's. Brave stuff from the pair of them. They still go side by side, and Gideon Cresswell is going to be able to get his nose in front of Josh Gollins. They head through Church onto the Hanger Straight, absolutely bumper to bumper. You can barely fit a sheet of paper between the pair of them, as William Phillips tries to break clear of Ricky Page, but it's a breezy day at Silverstone, as it ever not, and therefore the slipstream effect really does come to the fore. Also in amongst some of the slower Cooper class runs, that's Mike Fryatt, who is inserting himself into this scrap as well as he looks to recover up the order. Here is our JCW class leader, Chris Knox, still trying to extend his advantage over Henry Dupree, Neil Newstead, and then Luke Cordell. Cordell in pursuit of Neil Newstead, heads around Copse Corner, picks up the throttle over the very slight crest in the road on towards Maggots and Beckett's. The first real third of this lap is devastatingly quick as the cars change direction at high speed through Beckett's. It's all about the run down the Hanger Straight, and Neil Newstead just runs out a little bit wide. He's going to gather it up for Church, but Cordell's got the opportunity here, I would suspect, to maybe propel himself into 3rd place by the time they reach Stowe. He's bringing Lawrence Davey with him for company as well. Davey just tucked in behind Cordell, taking full advantage of the slipstream effect. On the brakes into Stowe, Davey does sneak through past Neil Newstead. So the Cordell and Davey train now in 3rd and 4th place. Their next target, Henry Dupree. In the Cooper class, William Phillips and Ricky Page are sharing the lead pretty much. It's Phillips who's got half a bumper length worth an advantage, and that disappears to absolutely nothing coming onto the Wellington Straight. And that slipstream effect is going to give Josh Gollin, Gideon Cresswell and Shane Stoney the opportunity to challenge the lead in the Cooper class, but it's Ricky Page who gets his nose in front. Does he quite move to the front of the class? I think he should do. Not sure William Phillips can fight back, indeed he can't. Josh Gollin and Phillips have a slight tap. William Phillips in the blink of an eye goes from 1st to 5th in the Cooper class. So now Ricky Page, who has the honour of leading the class as we head towards the late stages of the race. So Luke Cordell catches up onto the tail of Henry Dupree, and he's going to challenge into Stowe Corner. And Cordell should go through past Henry Dupree, indeed he does. Snatches the place away, up to 2nd place for Cordell. Chris Knox, though, I think is going to be 1 car too far. We really are on the run towards the checkered flag here, and it's Josh Gollin who leads onto the Hanger Straight then for the final time of asking, but Ricky Page is going to have the benefit of the slipstream. Gideon Cresswell and William Phillips likewise. Gollin to the left-hand side of your screen, Ricky Page to the right as they head down towards Stowe Corner, and Ricky Page snatches the lead of the race in the Cooper class away from Josh Gollin, but we have still got about 2/3 of a lap to go here. It is not done and dusted in the Cooper class. It is, however, in the JCW class, and Chris Knox takes the checkered flag and the victory from Luke Cordell and Henry Dupree. Super drive up through the order, that from Cordell. Knox celebrates. Let's have a look then at the final results. A victory for Chris Knox from Luke Caudle, and Henry Dupleix completes the rostrum from Russell and Newstead. Hamish Brandon rounds out the top 6. Ricky Page did hold on to win the Cooper class from Josh Gollin and Gideon Cresswell. What a race amongst those cars. It's time to celebrate on the podium for a delighted Ricky Page, his first victory in the Cooper class. Meanwhile, Chris Knox probably needs a new extension to his house with all the JCW triumphs he has been notching up so far this season. Draw time for the reversal for race 3, and it's the top 6 who are going to be reversed.
We've had a few podiums and we've been like millimetres from the first place, but yeah, we made the top step today, and the guys have done a great job with the car, and what a way to do it as well. What a race, fantastic.
Ricky was really fast. He managed to catch me back up, and just got me back on down the straight going into Stowe. Didn't fight it too hard because I thought there was another lap, but got it wrong, and unfortunately just finished on his bumper in second place, but still happy for the team and happy for the College of West Anglia.
Got through the first couple of laps, started to pull a gap on the others right behind Chris, and I was hoping to kind of stay there, but I could see Luke got through them and he was hunting me down, and my tyres started to go off, and I was trying to manage the tyres whilst keeping him behind me, and he just nipped past at the last minute. But really good points, and really happy to be up here again.
The championship title is within your grasps now. It's not settled yet, but it's close. How are you feeling?
We'll just take it as it comes. I don't want to take any risks and risk putting it over to Brands. I'll have to go and do some calculations to see exactly what I need to do, but it's a long race and I'm starting from 6, so anything can happen.
Some fantastic close racing, and what a brilliant result for Ricky Page there. Well, the drivers have another go at this 3.6 mile circuit, and it's 18 turns of pure adrenaline after the break. We'll see you then. Welcome back to Silverstone and the PowerMaxed Mini Challenge, where we still have one more race for you. But just before that, I want to get a little taster of how 2015 is shaping up. And Anthony, I'm hoping you're the man to tell me.
Well, 2015 is shaping up to be even bigger and better than ever, Michelle. It's really going to be a great year. We're taking the decision to separate out the entry-level Cooper class cars, 1.6 normally aspirated, great cost-effective budget racing, but still really close mini fun. And then from that, we're going to have a separate race for the 1.6 litre turbo JCW class cars, and also the new 2 litre turbo Gen 3 car. This fantastic bit of kit is going to be the future of the Mini Challenge, but very much keeping the older cars as part of the family.
So, lots to look forward to in 2015 then. Now, the great thing about Mini Challenge is it's not all about the championship title. There's also something called the Directors' Cup, and I have 2 of the front runners with me now. We have Alan and Patrick. Guys, tell me a little bit more about this Directors' Cup then.
It's for the OGCs, as we say, the Old Git Championship. I believe it's over 45s, is that right?
I think so,
yes.
Yeah.
We're not quite sure, but it's made up of, I think, 5 of the drivers, which Patrick and I currently are, I think, joint...
Gentlemen racers, I like to call it.
Gentlemen racers, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love it. So, what's happening at the moment? Who is where in the standings? I know you both are right up there.
Yeah.
Well, I started off, I think 4 points ahead at this meeting, and Alan had a great race yesterday, and I think he nabbed them 4 points back.
Yep.
So we were level pegging going into this race, and of course I had a problem with my car and had to end early. So now he's lapped those points up and taken the lead. But yeah, we're going into Brands, both of us, and I'm sure we'll enjoy it. And
exactly.
You know, it'll be a clean race, and you know, best man wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll shake on that.
Yes.
So the battle for the Directors' Cup continues now, and it's going to be an important race for Chris Knox, who starts in 6th position, courtesy of the reverse grid. Ben, let's go racing.
Thanks, Michelle. This should be absolutely thrilling. The reverse grid always throws up some surprises, so it means Hamish Brandon and Neil Newstead have got the front row to themselves, ahead of Chris Russell and Henry Dupree. What a row 3 though. Luke Caudle and Chris Knox and Rob Smith should not be discounted from 7th. In the Cooper class, well, I could give you the top 10, but frankly they'll all be side by side by the time they get to turn 1 anyway. But it is Matt Hammond who's got the honour of pole position ahead of Shane Stoney. And away we go. And it is a good start from Hamish Brandon, who gets the jump on Neil Newstead as they head towards Copse the first time. Also well away is Henry Dupree. There is Rob Smith, the Pirelli back car, heading around Copse Corner. He's alongside Lawrence Davey. And the real challenge in these reverse grid races is biding your time to pick your way up through the order as Henry Dupree goes sideways through Beckett's. Around goes Dupree. Caudle takes evasive action, and somehow he has been avoided by the chasing pack. We've got another car pointing the wrong direction as well. But they, with the exception of William Phillips, I think have all just about stayed out of trouble. Phillips onto 2 wheels as he rejoins the fray. Chris Russell also is going to come back into the pack a long way down. And already the field, particularly amongst the JCW class, somewhat torn asunder at the first sequence of turns, but look at what that means for the Cooper class. They are 5 or 6 wide, disputing 3rd place in the class. It's Max Lever who doesn't know where to look in his mirrors because they are completely filled with Mini Cooper cars as they turn through Stowe Corner. We've got some of the recovering JCWs in amongst it as well. Meanwhile, Lawrence Davey has got Mark Stewart, Alan Taylor and Kevin O'Connor. On his tail, there's O'Connor. Black car this year. You may recall he's raced a red car for several seasons prior to this. The silver machine of Taylor, the black machine of Mark Stewart, meanwhile looks to the inside of Lawrence Davey. As Hamish Brandon leads the way from Neil Newstead. It's good to see Hamish right at the front of the field, and Hamish really testimony to the fact that you can have a long and productive career in the Mini Challenge, because he started out racing in the Cooper class and stepped up to the JCW class, and is right there at the sharp end of the field. But he's about to lose the lead to Neil Newstead. Luke Caudle also looking to follow through as well, with Chris Knox and Rob Smith very much in the mix. That quintet moving clear of the rest of the field. Lawrence Davey and Mark Stewart having a fairly tight tussle, has to be said. So around Brooklands in the late August sunshine and into the never-ending right-hander of Luffield. Frustrating corner for the drivers. They just want to plant their right feet and accelerate then on towards Woodcote. It's Neil Newstead who has got the slenderest of margins over Luke Caudle. In terms of the championship, Caudle really desperately needs a victory in this one if he is going to have a realistic chance of moving ahead of Chris Knox in the final meeting of the season on the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Cooper class, as ever, frenetic fighting. Grace Williams is somewhere in the middle of all of that. She has got William Davison looking to challenge around the outside. Newstead, Luke Caudle, fight for the lead, and Caudle to the inside of Neil Newstead and moves ahead of Newstead, takes the advantage. Those 5 cars battling for the lead, still in very close company with each other, but Newstead immediately now comes under threat from Hamish Brandon, who looks to the inside of Newstead at Vale. It has the dual benefit of also shutting the door on Chris Knox. It's Rob Smith next to Log. Knox has got a good run here on Hamish Brandon through club. Brandon comes just in time ahead of his compatriot Chris Knox. Davidson in the thick of the action, also Pete Dearman as well. The number 11 car, Grace Williams. Shane Stoney, a somewhat muted weekend, but he is in the middle of that scrap. Out of farm on the brakes into village, and Chris Knox looks to the inside of Hamish Brandon and makes contact with Neil Newstead. Around goes Newstead. Knox should continue. Oh, but there's smoke pouring forth. I think that's just bodywork rubbing against the tyre. Uncharacteristic that from Chris Knox. He's normally a very, very clean and contact-averse driver. I'm sure there may be a story behind it that we'll unpick later. Well, let's have another look at it. Knox looking to make a move on Hamish Brandon on the brakes. The car just not slowing. And tags Neil Newstead, tips Neil into a spin. Hopefully not with too much damage either for Newstead. So that then leaves Hamish Brandon clear at the front of the field. Luke Caudle we've also lost to mechanical failure. So now this is the challenge to the lead from Rob Smith, and he darts the inside of Hamish Brandon, and it's Rob Smith who takes the lead of the race. And Brandon has got Lawrence Davey now looking to demote him to third. This, the lead of the Cooper class though, headed by Matt Hammond. That is the white and green machine. Then we've got Josh Gollin, William Phillips and Ricky Page. Can Ricky score his second win of the day? Down the hangar straight they come. They've got the recovering Chris Knox just in behind them. How close do you want this? Oh, there's almost contact there as Matt Hammond comes under pressure from Josh Gollin. Gollin tried to force his way through to find space where really there's none. And that was assertive stuff from Josh Gollin, but he forces his way to the head of the Cooper class. William Phillips trying to thrust past as well. They're almost 4 wide heading into the Vale. Gollin to the inside. Matt Hammond determined to reclaim the advantage in the Cooper class. Onto 2 wheels from Josh Gollin as he just about preserves the class lead. Hammond, Phillips and Page 3 wide coming out of Club Corner as they accelerate past the wing pits. What a fantastic race this is amongst the Cooper class cars. Meanwhile, the race in the JTW class is claimed for Rob Smith. Second place goes the way of Lawrence Davey, and third to Mark Stewart. Delight for Davey. And the Cooper class, Josh Gollin, the car sporting the trophies of a race hard fought, and it is going to be a race hard won as he heads out of Woodcote Corner and takes the Cooper class win. Second place going the way of Matt Hammond, and third to William Phillips after that absolutely ferocious scrap. A look then at the results. Victory for Rob Smith from Lawrence Davey and Mark Stewart. Hamish Brandon in 4th from Chris Russell and Kevin O'Connor. Chris Knox recovering at 10th despite that drama. That fantastic Cooper class race claimed by Josh Gollin from Matt Hammond and William Phillips from Ricky Page and Gideon Cresswell. Shane Stoney 7th place, enough to give him the Cooper class crown. So therefore, after a long and entertaining weekend of racing, there is plenty to celebrate on the Silverstone rostrum. Josh Gollin and Rob Smith on the top step as they let rip with the champagne to the applause of the mechanics and well-wishers from the PowerMaxed Mini Challenge paddock.
Didn't have to do too much to win that. I was quite surprised. It all kicked off at Beckett's on the first lap and I managed to pick my way through that. And then Luke pulled up with some sort of problem. Chris and Neil got together and then it was just Hamish to get by, and I thought I'd got a good chance. I've had a bit of pace on him all weekend, and yeah, that was how it turned out.
Last lap move, I was being squeezed onto the grass just before Stowe, but there's no way I wasn't having a corner, and just managed to squeeze up the inside and held it to take the win. So I'm really pleased.
So in terms of the championship, well, only a disastrous weekend at Brands Hatch would cost Chris Knox the JCW crown, although Lawrence Davey is there in a very tight scrap for second with Neil Newstead and Luke Cordell. Shane Stoney victorious in the Cooper class, but again, everything to race for second between Gollin, Page and Phillips.
A very different looking podium from the one earlier due to a race full of high drama. Certainly never a dull moment in the mini challenge. Well, we still have one more round to look forward to at Brands, but until then, don't forget you can keep up to date with all things mini challenge on our website, Facebook and Twitter. From Silverstone though, it's goodbye.